Tuesday, August 2nd, 2016. Maneco 64 here, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I'll be covering the August ALTA report, or asymmetric linguistic trends analysis, from Half Past Human and Cliff High. It covers the period from August this year through to December 2037. So there's immediacy data, short-term data, and long-term data. If you want to find out more about these reports, please go to Half Past Human. You can buy each monthly report for $15. I'm just doing like a brief summary here of the parts that my viewers like to listen to, like the markets entity. So yeah, we'll go straight to the market entity. But before that, I'll cover the global population entity. And the data in the global pop is showing economic depression. That seems to be reoccurring data in the global population entity. And this depression, of course, beginning in 2016 over the next 5 years. And it will mark a period of negative growth for global paper debt markets, mainly dollar markets. It looks like China and Southeast Asia will avoid this depression. And quickly, I'll touch upon the Aussie pop, Australian population. We've got a few viewers in Australia, basically saying that the data is showing political corruption scandal related to housing construction business. That's for the Aussie pop. So now I'll go straight to the market pop. And I will just cover quickly here the USA pop before the market pop, even though they're both related. So it looks, and I quote from the USA pop, the social pressures are described as increasing along with the fragility of the political economic system. And he says data sets are describing this election cycle as being the most deadly ever, with a number of shootings and attacks that result in fatalities as tensions build. So the other thing he says is that there will be some kind of legal event from July, it's going to happen from July 31st to the 8th of October. It's going to happen within that period of time. It's not going to be related to politics or markets, but it will affect, apparently, the global bond market and derivatives market, and it will be quite significant. So it's a legal event, basically. So I'll move now straight to the market pop. Let's have a look here. Okay. And he talks about Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin's going down quite a bit these last few days, but this is what the data is saying. Temporally coincident with European street wars, the data shows that Bitcoin is going to breach the barrier and take out $688 to the Bitcoin. This is also being described as temporarily coincident with the first of the previously forecast air gaps in the price of silver. These air gaps indicated to be large enough to cause comments in the mainstream propaganda press, and these discussions are showing as being prompts to bank runs in Europe. He goes on to say these bank runs are also showing as affecting vaults of all kinds of the population becomes nervous about the certainty of institutions. The bank run is also showing as impacting gold and silver sales, as the population is indicated to take money from banks to put in precious metals. And another interesting point about the markets entity is here about the bond markets, which I've been covering. It says a new pattern of very large growth in supporting short-term and immediacy data values are forecasting that the global bond markets will be going bluey, exhaustion, terminal weakness by mid-October of this year. Other sets are showing that the global bond markets going to be barbecued by mid-October of 2016, as data shows that rates on sovereign bonds begin to compete with each other over the months of August and September. So, and it goes on to say the data is indicating that precious metals and bitcoins are going to take away the reflection of brightness on paper debts. These sets are going further to the idea of bondholders who are freaking out as the banking crisis spreads from country to country in mere days. And he goes on to say, in spite of the many voices, minions and officialdom of the powers that be proclaiming that this or that is the cause for the sudden crisis crash, there are clear sets going to the idea that the global population will not be buying the excuses from the minions and politicians. So it goes on to say the data sets are forecasting that the gambling experience of the millions of private traders across the planet is going to be so violent as to prompt actual heart attacks. Stated another way, the sudden rush into the crisis period, collapsing fiscal structures, causes day traders and pensioners to be both wiped out as well as shocked nearly to death. So this is quite interesting. Here we go. There are new subsets for giant shifts in the values relative of the fiat currencies that will be participating within the trading markets. The fiat breaks are showing as causing wild swings in real prices for energy and nearly everything else as the markets become unhinged at the exchange level. So I'm just trying to find the more interesting parts of this report. Okay, in related areas of the markets entity, we have a large amount of new data that is forecasting that the rapid and somewhat unexpected rise in silver prices in US dollars over the month of August will be causing a number of companies to go out of business as their shorts in the silver markets go uncovered. This is showing as causing a chain of defaults that is going to cascade upward into the larger players in the commodities market. This defaulting pressure is going to force the banks, especially bullion banks, to frantically try to obtain coverage for their sinking positions. And he goes on to say the data sets are forecasting that there will be no silver or gold to purchase or to make good the systemic problems that the governments of the planet are going to be deeply involved in the failing silver shorts by mid-September 2016 at an official and public level. So, and he goes on to say, the major problem emerging from the markets entity data set is shaping up as a real significant issue for all rational humans. The data is forecasting that we will have businesses failing from lack of cash, yet able to get debt, but not able to service it. And the cash drought will happen so suddenly that major banks and corporations are not prepared for it, and will also suffer the level of churn in the system drops to nearly nothing. Areas like real estate, gambling, and convenience store stores and such will be the first to feel the cash drought shaping up, while the data forecasts, many of them sounding an alarm and even screaming to governments about it. The data would have it be way too late by that point to be corrected. So a lack of cash. So we're almost here towards the end. Just trying to okay. So, and this will be the end of my summary. The data sets are describing an emotional frenzy to own silver and also to own gold and to own Bitcoin. These sets are showing up ahead of the run to cash sets by over a week, but probably not as much as 2 weeks. These sets are forecasting that jittery money will know beforehand and be desperate to get out before the crash. These sets are independent of the Turkey sets and are merely temporally associated. The panic to own sets are describing the gold channels as being drained from both ends as the first large buyers run into walls of no metal to be had in quantity. Then the retail buyers run into empty stores that only want to buy gold and not sell it. Even more descriptive, the retail stores are being characterized as gold silver vacuums reaching out into the population. And it goes on to say the data sets are describing the panic to own gold and panic to own silver as being fear driven. The ratio of fear set to the emotional value sums for gold and silver are at all-time highs within these sets. And he says these sets are ballooning as model space is moved forward. And he says within our work, fear is the one of the primary drivers, and as such is easily tacked as it rises out of the emotional aggregates. So there you have it. That's the Webbot report for August. Looks like it's called Frenzy. So there's just seems to be a lot of chaos, uncertainty, fear, and bond markets melting down. Don't forget, he's not predicting that this was going to happen 100%. He's just analyzing the data and telling you what it's giving, what is showing up emotionally. So we'll have to see, sit out and watch the markets and the political situation. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. You can also donate to my channel. There's a link below in the description to donate via Patreon, or you can donate Bitcoins as well. I'll put the address below. Thanks for watching. Bye.